Hello everyone, this is Pooka and welcome to another game I played on Bad Deck Monday. It's been a while since we've had some videos from Bad Deck Monday, but my throat is pretty much healed at this point. I did have my tonsils removed, so I might sound a little different. That would be the reason why. But here we go with good old Quadza. This is the deck that runs 4 Rayquaza EX and no other Pokemon. Looks like I am going second against a Trubbish. If I would have went first, I could have had a Skyla for an Ether, and then we could have used Pokedex and Ether, and surely we would have knocked out that Trubbish turn 1. So my opponent dodges a bullet there right off the bat. Could have pulled off that win here. Doesn't look like he has any other basics, but he hits a laser and a heads there. So if I wake up, I can still get this Pokedex Ether combo. We'll attach, and turn 1 we can Dragon Burst for 60 and knock out this Trubbish. Does my opponent have any more Pokemon? No, he uses Garbage Collection for a laser, and oh no, I stay asleep. Ah, man. Now I do run full heal in this deck. So it is a possibility to, go ahead and pull off a turn 1 win still. But I'd have to be pretty lucky. I decided to Pokedex to see if there's a full heal in my top 5. Maybe I could get lucky and, full heal Pokedex and, go for that. But doesn't look like it's going to happen. My 5 cards are looking pretty dismal. And at this point, I'm a little upset because I had the win, right there. I probably should have played Skyla for probably anything here looking back. But I decided to go for the Juniper. I'm really pushing to try to get the win here. So I'm going to go ahead and Juniper away my hand. And I really would have needed those last 2 cards to be full heal and Ether. I'm not sure why I really did this. I think this was a mistake on my part. But at any rate, I did have to burn my gold potion to do that as well. That's probably the biggest downside of what I did there. And I missed my turn 1 Celestial Roar. Not only did I miss winning on the first turn, but I missed being able to use a Celestial Roar on the first turn, and it's kind of a bummer. I cannot stress enough how much I hate Hypnotoxic Laser. It just seems to be the bane of my existence. Anytime I fall asleep, I just seem to stay asleep, and that is exactly what happened here. Now, I still don't know exactly what my opponent is playing. Obviously, there's Garbodor, but a Water Energy, so it's actually an Articuno Garbodor deck. So the Articuno has Frost Prison. If you don't know what that does, it does 80 damage for 2 water, 2 colorless, and if you have a Plasma Energy attached, you automatically paralyze your opponent. So it's pretty devastating for a deck like mine that only runs, I think I only run 1 full heal or something like that, 1 or 2. So I'm really going to have to conserve those. And now I'm kind of happy that I didn't waste my full heal turn 1 if I wasn't going to win, because I'm going to need that at some point to pull off a win. But he puts me to sleep last turn, and I'm still asleep. Still. I haven't woke up yet, so this is going to be 2 turns where I'm just not going to be able to do anything. You can see that full heal is in my deck, but I don't want to take it here. Now I need to conserve this for a turn where I can pull off a big knockout. I catch it up as Garbodor. He made a big play with that scramble switch to get the energy onto Articuno, then the Chorus Machine, then an attachment. So he just kind of dropped that Articuno out of nowhere. Really caught me off guard. But this is something we can definitely deal with. He does end me. I had a Rayquaza in my hand. I probably should have played that back down. I redrew it. There's not really any downside to benching another Rayquaza here, but actually there might be, because the 10 from Blizzard from Articuno does 60, and then 10 to your bench Pokemon. That actually does end up mattering, since you can do 10 damage, and then I have 160 hit points left, which means Frost Prison twice will knock me out. So kind of a bummer there. But here we're just going to go ahead and promote my other Rayquaza. I'm going to retreat the damaged one. I'm going to make him work to knock that one out at the very least. Basically what I'm doing here is I'm trying to split up energy to say, okay, you are going to have to choose which one you want to take down. Either the active one, and I do get an energy off of that Ether, so it's pretty nice. It's a nice benefit of running about 30 energy in your deck. You get to use Ether a lot, and then we're going to go for a Celestial Roar, discard the top 3, and ooh, that was a brutal discard there. Discarded a Pokedex and a Juniper, only got 1 energy off that. Not pretty at all. I was hoping to split up 3 energy on each Rayquaza. Now the theory there is, it's kind of you have to pick your poison, okay? If he goes after the active one, and when he knocks that one out, I'll have the benched one ready to just Dragon Burst his Articuno for a knockout. And it's very difficult for him to generate energy and play quickly because, you know, he's already used 2 Plasma Energy. Colress Machine is really going to be his best way to accelerate energy and all that good stuff. So it's going to be tough for him to power up another Articuno. Really, once I take down one, if I take down the only one that has energy on it, I should just kind of be able to swarm him with Rayquaza and win that way. So what I'm doing is splitting up my energy. If he catches the benched one, I'll be able to attack him with the active one. But I missed my... I needed to get 2 energy off that Celestial Roar, and I missed. So that's kind of a big deal there, but it's okay. We'll see what happens. He does play an N. That Garbodor was stuck active last turn. He did not draw a switch, but he draws one this turn. So that was a pretty big moment there. He got his switch, and we're going to see a Frost Prison, and I Pokedex, and that's what I see. 5 fire energy. So for the next 5 turns, I know what I'm drawing. Yeah, maybe we can rearrange them. Maybe I want to put that fire on top instead. Maybe we'll put that fire at the bottom. Yeah, that's kind of a ridiculous top 5 cards to see. So you pretty much know your options are limited for the next 5 turns to attaching energy. That is horrendous. Oh my goodness. And at this point, you know, I just feel like I am way behind. Obviously, I have a bunch of damage on 2 Rayquazas, and my opponent does end me, thankfully. I don't have to suffer for the next 5 turns. I do draw 3 catchers, though, a Pokedex and 2 fires. So not the greatest situation in the world, but I don't know. We'll see what happens, you know. I was paralyzed last turn, couldn't do anything. I had to attach to the active Rayquaza again to get in that situation, saying if you knock out my active, my bench one's going to come out and Dragon Burst you, and you're going to lose all your energy, and I'm probably going to end up winning. So that's what's happening here. He does counter my Sky Arrow with a Burbank, so his lasers are going to be super powerful now. And alright, I can send up Rayquaza here. I could Pokedex here. I'm not actually sure if that's the right thing to do. If I do that, I could see, you know, if I draw Ether, stuff like that, and that's exactly what's going to happen. I can get Ether next turn and then guarantee myself an energy off the top. That's pretty nice. And yeah, next turn I'll draw the Ether, and then I'll be able to generate an extra energy onto my bench Rayquaza. And here I can Dragon Burst for a knockout. Now I am going to lose pretty much all of my energy, but again, we're going to reset his energy, and I'm going to have a turn to Celestial Roar probably. And that's going to be a pretty big deal. If I can get enough energy in play, and then draw my full heal, that's going to be a big one. Then I'll be able to, you know, just go ahead and full heal once he brings up the Articuno. When he uses Frost Prison to paralyze me, I can just go full heal, and then Dragon Burst, knock out the Articuno. And I gotta think, if I knock out 2 Articunos, I'm probably going to win this game. I can't see him powering up a 3rd one in time. It does take 4 energy to use Frost Prison. Again, he's gone through a bunch of Plasma Energy. That's the 3rd one on his Articuno. Colress Machine only works when you have Plasma Energy left in his deck. And there we might see the last one right here. We see a Colress Machine. He takes a look through his deck. And we'll probably see the 4th one come out here. But oh no, looks like he does not have it. So that is a pretty big deal. He is 1 energy attachment short now of really doing anything. And he has to pass with the Trubbish active. Alright, so I do get the Ether here, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And I think my best plan is going to be to perhaps retreat, or I can attach to the bench Rayquaza and then go for a Celestial Roar and hope for the best. You know, he did not get a Plasma Energy with that Colress Machine last turn, so basically I am pretty sure that he won't be able to knock me out with Frost Prison. And I'm trying to remember what energy are on top of my deck. I totally forgot. And I needed another fire. Oops. I accidentally attached my second fire to the benched, or to the active, rewind. Let's start over. Alright. I attached the wrong energy. I need a fire for next turn to Dragon Burst for knockout. Now I won't be able to. If I don't top deck a fire, I am actually not going to be able to Dragon Burst for knockout, and I'm going to be in a ton of trouble. He does play a laser, puts me to sleep again. And we'll see if he has a switch in order to use Blizzard this turn, and that would actually knock me out. That would put me in a terrible position. And what am I going to do? He has a Colress for 4. Does he get the switch and use Blizzard to knock me out? No, it looks like he has an Eviolite, though, and that's going to actually make the... Oh, and a switch. Oh, boy. And now, what do we do from here? I can't knock out his Articuno. I don't have enough energy to do that. With the Eviolite, he'll survive for sure. I also don't even have enough to do 180 normally. So I do the only thing I can do for now. I'm going to catcher up Garbodor and try to buy some time. I have 2 catchers left. That means I can catcher up Garbodor potentially 2 more times, which is going to be maybe my only hope. I'm going to attach to Rayquaza. Right here, my hope is to stall for enough time to get enough energy on my Rayquaza, and then I can catcher the Articuno back out and then Dragon Burst it for a knockout. Because, like I said, if I knock out that last Articuno, I think I should win. But I'm just going to retreat instead of using Celestial Roar because there are too many crucial cards left in my deck that I could end up discarding. So I don't want to have to do that. He does play a Colress Machine. He might just be burning it at this point. Or maybe it's a possibility he had his last Plasma Energy in his hand the last turn. And, yeah, that's exactly what happened. And he shuffled it back into his deck with Colress. So he does get that extra energy into play. He puts the other Plasma on the other Articuno. He has to do that because the only way Frost Prison paralyzes you is if you have a Plasma Energy on the Articuno. So now, this is looking pretty ugly. He might actually be able to power up 3 Articunos this game, which is really bad. My deck is designed to just rush you right out of the gates. That's all it's meant to do. Celestial Roar turn 1, use Ether, just generate a ton of energy and then Dragon Burst the whole game. We're trying to put tons of pressure, do 180 turn 2 pretty much every game. And I didn't even get to use Celestial Roar my first 2 turns. So what am I supposed to do here? I honestly don't know. He does put down a Pokemon Center, which could end up being helpful for me because I get to heal 10 off of my bench Rayquaza. He did not get a switch, so I am just going to pass. I can't actually do anything else anymore. He did get rid of my Sky Arrow Bridge. I can't even retreat. So at this point, we're in desperation mode. He's used 1 Scramble Switch and 2 switches. Something I could do is just continually catcher out Garbodor at this point. I am going to attach to my bench Rayquaza here, and I'm going to have to pass. But yeah, I could just constantly catcher out Garbodor. And it does have that 3 retreat cost, so it's going to be stuck in the active spot. I don't think my opponent is caught on at this point. He continues to power up bench Articunos instead of, trying to get Garbodor out of there. And he plays a Skyla for a switch. So at this point, I think I need to try to deck him out. That's going to be my only option here. Now he's going to catcher up the Rayquaza with the 4 energy on it. And he just wants to take that out. He's going to Blizzard first. I'm not sure why he didn't go to the other one and use Frost Prison. It seems kind of suspect. I did draw my full heal, which actually would have made this situation a lot better for me. But at this point, I'm trying to figure out how many cards are left in my opponent's deck. Because I need to figure out if we get into this situation where I'm just trying to deck him out, who has more cards left. If I have more cards left and he is out of switches, then I'm going to win. That's just how math works. And yeah. So, at most, he can have, let's see, 1 more switch. And let's do the math. If he uses the switch, then I just catcher him. That's pretty much all there is to it. So at this point, I have completely switched gears. I have realized, okay, I'm probably not going to be able to take 2 knockouts anymore between those Articunos. I just don't think I'll get enough energy and play in time to go ahead and win the game like that. It just doesn't seem feasible. So I have switched gears completely to trying to deck him out. So at this point, I'm actually going to stop playing any cards. Now you might think, why would you just stop playing cards? That doesn't make sense. You would want to get more energy and play it, right? Well, the reason is, what this is going to come down to is an N. He's going to play an N, because he has one left, I believe, and we're both going to have to shuffle our hands into our deck. So you can see he has a bigger hand than me, it looks like, maybe by 1 or 2 cards, and that means he's going to shuffle in more cards into his deck, and he only draws 2, because he only has 2 prizes. I have to draw 4. So I have to make sure that after he plays the N, that I'm going to be still ahead on cards left in my deck. Because at this point, I'm committed to the strategy of, alright, I'm just going to sit here and wait till he decks out. And you can see how kind of ironic this is, that my deck is meant to burn through my deck as quickly as possible with Celestial Roar, rush somebody on turn 2. It has no strategy besides Dragon Burst over and over and over. And I might deck somebody out. I might deck out a person who uses a lock deck to paralyze you over and over. I don't know how else to explain this, but it's a pretty absurd situation. And you can see here, I am thinking at this point that my opponent he does have only 3 switch in the discard pile, so I'm thinking that he has 1 switch left and then an N, and he might just wait to go switch, N, and then he'll hope I don't draw my catcher off of my N to 4, and then all he has to do is attack twice, and I will lose. So that is pretty much what it's going to come down to. You can see my opponent has a ton of cards, but so do I. Does he have the N? There's a Hypnotoxic Laser. That's actually going to backfire he's going to end up shuffling less cards back into his deck, and there is the N, but we didn't see a switch. I think we're going to deck him out with Quadza. We're just going to sit here and pass over and over and over and over and over until he runs out of cards, because even though PTCGO wouldn't show me how many cards were left in my deck, I tried, I hovered over it many times. It should tell you how many cards are left in your deck. My deck does look a little thicker. So I think we're just going to sit here and pass back and forth, pass, 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 and he's going to run out of cards, and I'm going to win. In the unlikeliest way possible, Quadza will end up winning based on decking out. So the deck with no strategy that burns through its deck as quickly as possible with Celestial Roar, all this stuff, has just sat here and decked out a Garbodor deck. So I thought this game was pretty cool, pretty interesting. Normally with Quadza, I am just, you live or die by your first couple turns with those Celestial Roars, with those Dragon Bursts. But here we took a different approach. We slowed the game down. My opponent, for some reason, put Garbodor into play. He really didn't need to. But, yeah, the end result is Quadza wins via deck out. Don't see that very often. So, thanks for watching, guys. I am Pooka here from the Top Cut. Hope you enjoyed. We'll have some more videos soon, and I'll see you guys next time.